Hi folks, I have for you a story of the absolute unbelievable, amazing truth behind Iran. British interests moved into Persia over 700 years ago, which is now modern day Iran. This scene is from the London News, 1859. The Shah meets Queen Victoria. To give you a flavour of attitudes, in 1911, the caption on this cartoon reads, quote, "If we hadn't a fault or understanding, I, British Lion, might almost be tempted to ask what you, Russian Bear, are doing with our little playfellow, Persian cat." Well, as you will see, the moral we're taught for fair play simply isn't cricket for the elite. The Imperial Bank of Persia, established in 1885 by Baron de Ruyter under a royal charter from Queen Victoria. The head office was in London and later became Midland East Limited, Midland Bank, and subsequently HSBC. Jewish German-born Baron de Ruyter converted to Christianity, gained British citizenship, and went on to establish Reuters News. In 1901, BP, formerly APOC, had a complete monopoly hold on Iranian oil. During World War I, Winston Churchill, in his position of First Lord of the Admiralty, met the Shah of Iran to ensure that we would hold 53% of Iranian oil.
In 1951, Iran's oil industry was nationalized with near unanimous support of Iran's parliament in a bill introduced by Mossadegh, who led the nationalist parliamentarian faction. Iran's oil had been controlled by the British-owned Anglo-Iranian Oil Company, AIOC, BP. Popular discontent with the AIOC began in the late 1940s. A large segment of Iran's public and a number of politicians saw the company as exploitative and a vestige of British imperialism. Despite Mossadegh's popular support, Britain was unwilling to negotiate its single most valuable foreign asset, and instigated a worldwide boycott of Iranian oil to pressure Iran economically. Initially, Britain mobilized its military to seize control of the Abadan oil refinery, the world's largest, but Prime Minister Clement Attlee opted instead to tighten the economic boycott while using Iranian agents to undermine Mossadegh's government. With a change to more conservative governments in both Britain and the United States, Churchill and the U.S. Eisenhower administration decided to overthrow Iran's government, though the predecessor U.S. Truman administration had opposed a coup. Britain and the U.S. selected Fazlollah Zahedi to be the prime minister of a military government that was to replace Mossadegh's government. Subsequently, a royal decree dismissing Mossadegh and appointing Zahedi was drawn up by the coup plotters and signed by the Shah. The Central Intelligence Agency had successfully pressured the weak monarch to participate in the coup, while bribing street thugs, clergy, politicians and Iranian army officers to take part in a propaganda campaign against Mossadegh and his government. At first, the coup appeared to be a failure when on the night of 16 August, Imperial Guard Colonel Ni'matullah Nasiri was arrested while attempting to arrest Mossadegh. The Shah fled the country the next day. On 19 August, a pro-Shah mob, paid by the CIA, marched on Mossadegh's residence. According to the CIA's declassified documents and records, some of the most feared mobsters in Tehran were hired by the CIA to stage pro-Shah riots. On 19 August, other CIA-paid men were brought into Tehran in buses and trucks, and took over the streets of the city. 800 people were killed during and as a direct result of the conflict. Mossadegh was arrested, tried and convicted of treason by the Shah's military court. On 21 December 1953, he was sentenced to 3 years in jail. then placed under house arrest for the remainder of his life. Mossadegh supporters were rounded up, imprisoned, tortured or executed.
The extremely popular, democratically elected Prime Minister was overthrown due to the fact he nationalised British-controlled Iranian oil. MI6 and the CIA declassified secret documents confirm they hired criminals and thugs to overthrow the elected Prime Minister. And I don't want to hear you say this is just the past. The Shah returned to Iran backed by the British and the Americans.
Surely, Your Majesty, you're not telling me that the Jewish lobby in the United States pulls the strings of the presidency?
Not entirely, but I think even a little too much, even for Israel interests.
You think the Jewish lobby in the United States is too powerful for the interests of Israel?
I think so. Sometimes they are disserving the interests of Israel because they're pushing around too many people.
Why would the President of the United States pay attention to that lobby?
They are strong.
Strong in what sense?
They are controlling many things.
Controlling what?
Newspapers, medias,
Your Majesty.
banks, finances, and I'm going to stop there.
Well, now wait just a second. You really do believe that the Jewish community in the United States is that powerful? They make the media reflect their view of foreign policy?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
They do not report?
May I put it this way? Many people watching you tonight, watching you talking to us now, many people in Britain, some of them cold, some of them quite poor, will be asking themselves what it is that you and certainly some of your Arab counterparts, sheikhs and rulers and governments, have against them. Does it in any way serve your interests
well, why?
To make a British economy suffer?
Why against? First of all, it's not British economy. If you want to say anything, it should be the world economy. And this is not against, we're just defending our chips. Because for such a long time, we have just been, well, exploited, I can't say that. And why don't you say that when the price of wheat was augmented by 300%, they had something against us? We had to buy it, or soybean, or steel products, or petrochemical products, which in some cases have augmented by 30 times. So did you have anything against us when you augmented those prices? Or what I buy from you, even weapons. The price that you are charging today is not what you were charging 2 months ago. It's increasing. Have you something against?
Do you then see oil as in some way a weapon that can correct us and our system?
Not really. But I was trying to defend my own interests. But I think at the same time, it is serving this cause to maybe have the effect of a shock on you and to realize and wipe your eyes and see that, well, to face the future, you will have to change your ways.
Do you think as your country gets more prosperous, you will be able to restrain the demands of your people for more of the kind of democracy we have in Britain?
But who says that my people are demanding the democracy that you have in Britain?
Don't you think that history indicates that that does come with growing prosperity? Are there any developed, powerful countries in this world with hereditary monarchies like your own?
Well, yes, but not necessarily. Because our tradition are just on the opposite way. The people and their king are so close that they feel as the member of the same family. They have, I think, the respect that at least families or children used to have for their father.
When I took over the Iran desk in the State Department in June of 1978, almost the first day, I heard from the senior level of the department that Henry Kissinger had been in Iran and had talked with the Shah. The Shah said to him, these disturbances led by mullahs must have another explanation. These ignorant mullahs are just simply not capable of whipping up crowds and having this kind of effective organization. He said, my thought is that maybe the CIA is behind it. They're the only people with the brains to do this kind of thing. Then the Shah asked, why would the United States do this? Why would they be turning against me? He said, I just don't know what the true explanation is.
The Chieftain tank was all the rage in the 1960s and 70s. At the time, the United Kingdom agreed to sell 1,500 of them to Iran's increasingly despotic dictator. London couldn't believe their luck when Shah Pahlavi paid the bill, said to be almost $1 billion up front. But shortly after, with just over a tenth of the tanks delivered to Tehran, the Iranian Revolution ousted Shah Pahlavi, and an Islamic Republic was born. The deal between the two countries went sour, with Iran's new leaders rejecting further tank deliveries, and the British government appointed arms dealer refusing to refund the balance.
It took Iran 30 years to win their battle through the courts, but still unable to receive their money. Hundreds of billions of dollars are owed by corporations in America, England and Europe, which government sanctions have prevented them from paying. At this stage, I would like to point out, if we bombed Iran's nuclear installations, the potential devastation of industrial nuclear fallout, and also certain religious leaders may call for a worldwide uprising against the so-called infidel, us. I am no way defending the leaders or despots of Iran, no more than I am defending the elite bloodlines of the West. Just trying to demonstrate by showing you history that the elite of all countries continually play games with our lives. I think you can be sure of one thing: the cat will not attack the lion or the eagle, but like any animal cornered with no way out, panic will take hold and she will come out biting and scratching. We have almost reached the point of no return on this matter. Please stay safe, and thanks very much for watching the video.